Mr. Transformers 96 here with another Marvel Legends ranking review. So what I usually do is I purchase an entire Marvel Legends wave, and then I rank just the figures in the wave, not including the Build-A-Figure, from my least favorite to my favorite. I'm doing this a very similar thing, but in a different way for this video. The reason I'm doing that is because I did not purchase the entire wave. I really only bought half of it, and then I bought the other half's Build-A-Figure pieces and not the figures themselves. So I do have the complete Build-A-Figure, and then I have half of the wave. Basically, what I did was I purchased all the movie figures. I skipped the 3 comic ones. So therefore, I'm just going to be ranking the movie ones, and I'm including the Build-A-Figure in this ranking simply because the Build-A-Figure is the same. She's on par with the regular figures. Usually the Build-A-Figure is much better than the average figure, which is why I don't rank it with them, because, you know, it obviously is on a different level than the regular figures. But Hasbro has gone into a routine where they're now just making Build-A-Figures that are on par with the figures in this wave, which is very disappointing personally, because I really did enjoy the fact that the Build-A-Figure was like a treat on top of the wave and was like something special, and now it's really not special anymore in some waves, this being one of them, which is definitely disappointing. However, the movie figures of this wave, I was very excited to get, and I'm very happy to get them, and they're all quite good. So let me give you my ranking of the Black Panther movie figures from my least favorite to my favorite. In 4th place, we have Okoye, who is, of course, the Build-A-Figure. These figures are all pretty on point. I have to say they're all pretty close in their ranking, so there's not any huge discrepancies here as far as the ranking's concerned. They're all rather close, but if I do have to put an order to it, I would put Okoye at the bottom here. Character-wise, I really liked her in the movie. She was a character that I wasn't really looking forward to, and she turned out to be a real standout. There's actually quite a few standouts in this film, which is, you know, a testament to the writing and acting. So she was one of them, though. I definitely think that a lot of people walked out really enjoying her character, as did I. Figure-wise, I do, you know, it's a solid figure. There's good detail on it. Some of the painting isn't the best. I think that there's some pieces where it's not 100% accurate, and then some others where it just doesn't look great, kind of melded together. But as a whole, I do think that the sculpting is nice, and for the most part, the painting is good. The face sculpt is probably what leads me to put this one in last place. It's an alright face sculpt, but I definitely don't think that it's as good as the other figures in this series, the movie ones. So the face sculpt is kind of what definitely tips it over the edge and puts it at 4th place on this list. At 3rd place, I'm going to put Black Panther T'Challa himself. Definitely a nice figure, and it's, you know, it's a welcome update from the last one. I did like the last one a lot. This one is quite cool. I do like the fact it's a completely new sculpt. I'm just not as into the design of the suit as I was the Civil War one. And then this figure definitely lacks in the fact of how it's been sculpted, how the proportions are together. The shoulders have this weird, they're too far out. The shoulders should be closer in to this actual section, but they have like these butterfly joints that just add like a second shoulder to him almost, which gives his arms a weird look and just kind of accentuates how skinny they are too. So he just has a weird look when it comes to his arms and shoulders. That's really what holds him back, because figure-wise, other than that, is really nice. There's some great sculpting, and I do definitely like the alternative head sculpt and the extra hands and things like that. But for the most part, because of how he's sculpted, he gets some weird proportions, and definitely, you know, is not one of my favorite ones of this of the movie figures from this assortment. At 2nd place, I have Nakia. Nakia is a fantastic figure. Really do love the intricate detail throughout the entire thing. It's, of course, 100% a new sculpt, and the likeness to Lupita Nyong'o, I think, is actually really quite good. That's one reason that I did put her fairly high on this list, and one reason that I definitely like this figure a lot more than Okoye. So I do really enjoy this figure. My only issue with it is the paint isn't 100% accurate. It's not bad. I like the paint on it. It's just it's not 100% accurate to the film. That's definitely that's the only complaint that I have about this figure in general, though, because as far as the rest of it, it's really fantastic. And my favorite movie figure from this assortment has to be Eric Killmonger. Of course, I'm a little biased just because I love Marvel villains, and this is a list of my favorite, you know, characters, my ranking personally, and not necessarily just the figure itself. However, I actually do feel like this is the best figure as well. I think that it's got a fantastic sculpt with lots of little intricate details. I like the paint a lot, too. They've done the cheetah patterning in such a way that it's very subtle, but it's still very recognizable. They could have easily gone way too extreme with this and had him have, like, polka polka dots all over him, but instead he has like this kind of charcoal, a black that runs throughout the figure, and then in those spotted affected areas he has more of a shiny black. So they do stand out from each other, but not by much. So it's rather subtle, which I do think is definitely more accurate to the film. I also like the gold paint. I think that it's done very nicely, and those gold eyes are really brought out well. I also enjoy the accessories he comes with. My only thing is I wish that he came with an Eric Killmonger head sculpt. That, of course, is being given to us via the figure that is released in the 2-pack with Agent Ross. So I do plan to get that figure. Having the extra head sculpt would have made this absolutely 100% perfect, but as it stands at the moment, I still think that it is the best one of the assortment, and I am very happy to have it. So overall, I do really enjoy the movie figures of this wave. I think that they're all good. You know, all of this, they were all very close together. There wasn't like, it wasn't a situation where I thought that the weak ones were weak by really far. It was really that they were all great figures. Just some small details obviously allowed me to be able to separate them and therefore rank them. But I really do enjoy all of these figures. And as far as the characters that they chose to do, they really did all the characters that you need, you know. I would have, there's certainly a couple more that I could have liked to see them do, but for the most part, they did more than I expected that they do. So I definitely like that a lot. The Build-A-Figure being Okoye is the only thing that I'm very disappointed about, just because I don't believe that the Build-A-Figure should be just as good as the figures in this wave. I think that the Build-A-Figure itself should be better than the figures in this wave, and she isn't. You know, she's just on par with the other figures, which is disappointing, definitely, and you know, something that I hope that Hasbro, you know, kind of going forward stops doing. But for the most part, really did enjoy the movie figures of this wave, and yeah, that's my ranking of how I would rank the movie figures. Let me know what you guys think of my ranking, and I'd love to hear your guys' ranking as well, and thanks so much for watching.